Hi everyone, it's Mary from Joyful and Mary Quilting, and I have a quilting tip for you where you will take 4 squares and turn them into 4 4-patch blocks. It's easy, it's quick, and it's accurate. Today we are going to learn how to make a 4-patch, random 4 patches actually, from 5-inch squares. A charm pack works really well for this technique, and in the end you're going to get a nice random grouping of 4 patches that you can use in a quilt top. So this is the finished 4-patch. It's 4.5 inches, and we are starting out with 5-inch squares. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to put a light with a dark right sides together. So there's a light with a dark and a light with, we're going to call that a dark, right sides together. The first step is to sew a 1/4 inch seam on each vertical side of these 2 5-inch square stacks. So I've done that. We have our dark color and our light, our dark and our light, and I have sewn on each vertical side a 1/4 inch seam. Now we are going to cut them in half. We know that these are 5 inches across. We want to make sure that our seam is vertical, and since they're 5 inches, half of 5 is 2.5. So I'm going to place my ruler 2.5 inch marking right along the edge. We want it straight so you can line up your top and your bottom with a line on your ruler and the edge of your ruler, and then we are going to cut those in half. So there's one. We're going to do the same thing with this. 2.5 inch marking on each edge, and we're going to cut that in half. So we have cut each pair in half, and we are going to press toward the darker fabric. So press this one in this direction, this one in this direction, this one in this direction, and this one in this direction. Okay, now we are going to sew these 2 patches together. We have seams pressed towards the dark, which means we can nest them, and that's going to give us opposite colors on each side of the 4-patch. So I'm nesting those seams together. This is pressed towards the dark, this is pressed towards the dark, and you can feel that your seams are flat before you pin. That's what's going to mean that your intersection will be perfectly aligned. I like to pin on the diagonal just to make sure that we've pushed those together as best as we can, and then we're just going to pin the ends just to keep them straight. We'll do the same thing on the opposite side. Again, they're nested together, so we can pin just as we did before, as close as we can to that seam, going down on one side and up on the opposite side, and then pinning the ends. Once we have done that, we are going to sew a 1/4 inch. We make sure our seam is going horizontally. We're going to sew those vertical sides one more time. So I have done that. I've sewn the vertical sides. I've done it with 2. We have 2 of these patches that we'll be sewing together. I've done it with 2. We're going to then cut it in half again. Now we haven't done any seams here, so this still is going to measure 5 across. There's our 5 inches across, so what's half of 5? 2.5. We're going to place our 2.5 inch marking right along the edge, and then we are going to trim. And what do we have? We have a beautiful and perfect 4-patch. You can either press those seams open or you can press towards one side, but either way, it's just a quick and easy way to get those 4 patches put together and put together just perfectly. They'll fit for any 4-inch square. You can do this for larger squares, a 6 inch, 6.5 inch, 7, whatever you like. It works the same way. You just remember that you always cut in half and cut in half whatever the start size is. And you have a really great 4 patch that gives you some pretty random squares in a quilt.